All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we're not at the setup. We lost power. I'm using literally the daylight as my light here. And it couldn't have come at a worse time. Or maybe it's a blessing in disguise here because last night we have a bad NBA night, right? And now we're delayed getting this video out, kind of scrambling. It's like literally a perfect storm. But nonetheless, we do have some picks coming your way. I apologize for the difference in the audio, the difference in the video, all that stuff, guys. But I wasn't going to use this as an excuse to avoid what happened last night, right? Sometimes in sports betting, there's sweeps. Sometimes you're the broom. Sometimes you're the dustpan. We're the dustpan last night. But hey, as I give you these plays, guys, feel free to always fade me. But I have 5 picks in today's video. Obviously, we're just recording with the phone. Limited access to everything, so I figured instead of going through the entire slate, in fact, as we lost power, I was like halfway through the slate of a normal video, but instead of going through the entire slate, I'll just give you 5 picks that I do like. 2 of them being leans, 3 of them we're locking in. Always keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we have for updated odds and books that we're placing this in. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump in. Hopefully you guys do, I guess, at least appreciate that we're not using this as an excuse to avoid the slump or even the bad day yesterday. Like, yes, no power, but we still got to make the video, and we still got to grind and get it out. We're using natural light. We're using our phone. We got my notes right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We're starting it off with a lean here. This is going to be the Cleveland Cavs minus 4.5 over the Rockets. So the Cavs are banged up. No Garland, obviously no Mobley. Both those guys have missed last game at least. I think Mobley's due back in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and Garland's out indefinitely as of right now. But nonetheless, I still think it's a good spot against the Rockets. Again, this is a lean, so keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we pull the trigger on it. The reason it is a lean is because of those 2 injuries I just mentioned. But overall, if you look at these 2 teams, this is a Cavs team that, yes, they've had their ups and downs, but they still are a good team. As long as Mitchell's playing, and as long as, Jared Allen is there to kind of anchor the defense, they do have guys that step up in between, right? So I don't mind them minus 4.5 here over the Rockets. I've said all season long, this Rockets team, I'll give them their flowers. They're exceeding expectations, but they stink on the road. They had a road game last night against Milwaukee. They lose by 9. Now you're telling me they're on the road and are on a back-to-back. I think it's a good spot for the Cavs when the whole world is saying that this Cavs team should blow it up and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. Like, they're kind of, we talk about the Rockets exceeding expectations. The Cavs kind of doing the opposite. But nonetheless, I do think that this could just be a good spot for them to win by 5 or more points. But again, those injuries kind of leave it as a lean for me as of right now. So give me the Cavs here minus the 4.5 as a lean. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we lock that in. Also, if you guys hear the pouring rain and the wind coming through the mic behind the phone there, it's because we're on a window right now. Hopefully that's not happening, but if that's the case, I apologize for that. Moving on, we have a player prop in the Clippers and Pacers game, and we're looking at a Clippers player now, former Pacers player, Paul George, PG-13, over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He played the Pacers last year. He dropped 45 points, 9 boards, and 4 assists against them. This total is set at 241, maybe 241.5 by the time you're seeing this, or it's going up. We know the Pacers play with a ton of pace, right? I don't even mind them to cover in this spot. Maybe we throw that in as like a little token lean there, plus 3 right now. But really, I do like Paul George's spot. This is a Pacers team that obviously allowing tons of points. They're scoring a bunch of points, but their games have been super high scoring. And I don't envision the Clippers being able to slow that down, especially while on the road. So instead of them being able to play their slow, sort of calculated basketball, they're on the road. Way different road team. I think that they're going to try and just compete and keep up with the Pacers. Who's going to do that best? Paul George against his old team here, the Pacers, allowing, I think it was the 2nd most points to the small forward position, the most rebounds to the small forward position, and a top 10 in terms of most assists allowed. So bottom 10, I guess, in the league to the small forward position. They don't play great defense. We know that they're a good team. I'll give the Pacers their credit here, but Paul George against his old team, I like the odds of him kind of going off here. So over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Next up, we got another player prop. I like this spot. He's been crushing this line. Hopefully the trend continues here. We got Jalen Brunson over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. He's hit this in 8 of his last 10. And he's having games in which he's having like 13, 14, 15 rebounds plus assists nights. I like him against the Lakers here today. Great matchup. Lakers over the last 15 games, allowing the 4th most rebounds to the point guard position and the 4th most assists to the point guard position. Jalen Brunson's wheeling and dealing here. I like his spot to be able to kind of grab a couple boards, but also dish the rock rock here. Again, crushing this line as of late. In fact, when I saw this line, I was like, that's probably juiced through the moon, right? No, it's right around minus 126 right now, which we'll definitely take. So that is a play we're locking in. Jalen Brunson, over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. All right, we got two more spread picks to dive into. One being a lean. One is one that I do like here, and we're locking in already. But before we get to that, guys, I already said at the beginning of the video, but we've been kind of cold, right? But we're still gonna show up and do the videos. Like today, literally could have been an easy day that I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do this video. We have no power, and we have to talk about a bad night and a bad few nights in a row. Why would I do the video, right? I could easily tweet out at FGuyBoston if you do want to follow me. I could easily tweet out, no power, we're not gonna do a video today, and then pick it up tomorrow and act like nothing bad happened, right? That's not how we do things around here. Whether you hate me or love me, we're going to show up and face the music. You know, if it's a winning night, great. If it's a losing night, not great, but we'll still show up. So hopefully you guys do appreciate that. And if you made it this far into the video with the bad quality or relatively speaking bad quality, the worst audio, go ahead and comment 6. It would mean a lot. Let me know that you did make it this far into the video because a lot of factors here at play. But again, it's all about the grind. We're chasing the dream. We're growing. We're going to the moon. You guys are absolutely crushing it in terms of support. And I always want to take the time, whether or not, some people get annoyed that we're taking a break in the action to talk about this. I always want to take the time to say thank you and really give you guys a shout out for the position you're putting us in, win or loss, right? So go ahead and comment 6 if you made it this far into the video. But let's get back to the picks here. This is going to be a lean for a few reasons. Mainly personnel. So I like the Timberwolves -1 over Miami here. Miami has not impressed me. In fact, they've lost the last 2 times we bet on them, right? Against the Bulls. Took a money line, lost. Took a -3.5, won by 2. So it's like, all right, little sour taste in my mouth for Miami. They do get back Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero today. So there's kind of reason number 1 why I'm leaning towards the Timberwolves and not locking it in just yet. Reason number 2 is that Anthony Edwards is questionable. So if he plays, I think I like the Timberwolves here -1 regardless of Bam and Tyler Hero playing. I think that Tyler Hero and Bam being asserted back into the lineup could be like, okay, well, there's a lot of change happening in this game. They don't just click right away, right? Both guys have been out for quite some time. So maybe I'm the dumb person in the room. Fade me, but I do think that this is a spot in which, it kind of comes just down to Anthony Edwards for me. Again, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero jumping back into the lineup, I think is a lot of change. Could have some sort of let's get used to this type of vibe to it and whatnot. So it doesn't make me all that scared of Miami, but I really do want to make sure that Miami's best talent is on the floor, and Anthony Edwards is obviously a huge piece of that. If we're just looking at these two teams side by side, like this Minnesota team, it's almost like anything you can do, I can do better-esque type of a thing, especially where their team mindset comes from. Like, this Miami team is going to want to grind you down, play slow, make the shots when it counts, make things hard on you, right? I guess Minnesota literally does that better. They're better offensively, and we know that they're better defensively. So that -1, yes, it may smell like a trap. Maybe the books are weighing Bam and Tyler Hero coming back. I'm just not putting that much stock into it. But it is a lean right now because we want to wait out the Anthony Edwards news. All right, guys, last pick of the day. And you guys know, I've been meat riding this team all year long. The second best team against the spread this year. Only the Philly Sixers are higher than them in terms of against the spread record and ranking. Looking at the Nets here, -4 against Utah. Now, I'll tell you why this is probably a bad pick first, but then we'll get into why I like it. So the bad thing is that the Nets have played 5 of their last 6 games on the road. Obviously, they're a better home team than they are a road team. They've lost, I think, 3 of their last 4, and this is their last road game before heading back home for a nice little homestand, which it's kind of like, okay, do they just sleepwalk through this game and say, get us back to Brooklyn? Maybe. That's why I'm saying this could blow up in our face. But the counter to that would be the Jazz are kind of just doing the exact opposite. Like, this is the last of, I believe it was 4 maybe? I might have that number wrong, but the last of a bunch of home games in a row for the Jazz before they embark on a road trip in a couple days. So I think that counters out. Like, the Jazz could be like, if I were to exaggerate it, oh man, we're about to go on a road trip. That sucks, right? We've been home for so long. And the Nets are like, oh man, we have to get through this one last game and then get to home. Like, those sort of mindsets of road trip and homestand type type of things I think do cancel out. And once we have that canceling out, like the Brooklyn Nets are a better team than the Jazz. The Jazz obviously dealing with injury. They're way better at home. I'll give them that credit, but this is a Nets team that, you know, I could easily see them being like, all right, we've got to get back in the win column here. We're playing so well. We're relatively healthy, you know, relatively speaking here. We should be able to beat this team, and I think that they do tonight. So Nets -4 against the Jazz is my final play of the video. And yeah, that is all that we have for you guys today. Again, you can see literally no power. At least it's bright enough to get this video out because it ain't sunny out there, but at least we got some light to be able to do this, because other than that, it'd be a dark black screen with like a voiceover for these picks. But nonetheless, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a good Monday night football, or Sunday night football, excuse me, good NFL Sunday, good Thursday night football. Like the NBA picks have been sketchy to say the least in the last week or so. And obviously we're going to show up and admit that when it's the case, because it's all public. So people being like, oh, you've lost me money on the year, that means you just jumped in, you know, in the last week or so, because we're still profitable on the year, but we are absolutely gushing units out of the arm, because I think before this little slump, and it's not a little slump, so I should say before this big slump, we were up 14 units on the season. We're now in the single digits easily, like past 9, so probably around 6.5. I'll tally them up after this, but yeah, hasn't been the best, guys, but we're still kicking. We're still trying to plug through here, and we'll show up even after the losses. So hope you guys do enjoy. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.